Welcome, I'll be reacting to Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons, Season 1, Episode 20. This is a commentary, it is not a market substitute, please support the original, and no spoilers in the comments. Yeah, show off that model. Give us close-ups. Wow, that's so neat!
I hear Spectrum want this fuel urgently for their refinery at Ben Sheba.
Now that's a place you should see.
And we're about to see it.
Is it safe?
Sure, so long as the master valve is shut. And I checked that myself.
Yeah, but, the Mysterons?
Cut the siren. Everyone's heard.
Yeah, everyone, including the
A lot of pressure down
Mysterons.
there. Look at that gauge.
Oof. Oh dear. R.I.P. model.
We intend to immobilize the whole of Spectrum.
The far right. What is that color? Ivory? Tan? Off-white? We have Captain Gray on the left, I think. But what's the far right? It's not ochre, that would be really yellow. I'm checking my notes. I don't think we've seen that color before.
The highly specialized fuel they use. And every drop comes, at present, from one source.
Okay, so still a mystery color.
Angels 2 and 3.
Captain Sand?
Launch.
I have questions.
Those flames must be 1,000 feet high.
How do you plan to put it out?
That's a job for an expert. We hired the best.
Maybe dump a lot of dirt on it? I don't know.
You've certainly got a good stock of explosives.
Well, I like to be ready. I've got nearly every type of explosive on the market, and a few I mixed up myself that aren't.
They just wanted an excuse to play with cool models. Uh-oh. The Mysterons wanted to duplicate him. Oh my goodness. How is this a kid's show?
I have come to pass on your instructions from the Mysterons.
Came in person.
I understand.
Alright, let's take a moment to appreciate this spread. Looks like a coffee pot, which is quite elaborate, but what I'm impressed by is that milk jug. Look at this. Wow. And I love the like half metal, half glass mugs they have going on for the coffee as well.
We found something in the debris. It's Jason Smith.
Well, at least now he'll have a proper burial.
I just don't understand.
He must be located and stopped. With all that explosive on board, that truck is like a four-wheeled time bomb.
Right. It's in the oil storage tank.
Here we go. I love how creative they are with where they hide these vehicles. Although I still feel sorry for that guy with the shop where they just drove through the shop. Question. If you could have any Spectrum vehicle, which one would you want? Like you could have an SPV, you could have one of the angel planes, the helicopter. Personally, I would want Captain Black's car, but that's just me. Oh, this was a fun day of filming.
Time's running out.
Well, it has to be now.
Nice touch having both vehicles covered in sand. Oh. Oh! I hope you didn't cause more trouble than you would have saved. Well, it looks relatively intact.
Yes, we've taken his, body back to Cloudbase.
I like that they're playing funeral music.
I'm sure you'll effect a complete recovery. Just make him comfortable. He'll do the rest.
Okay, let's talk about that quip at the end about Scarlet being the VIP patient. I would love to have an episode of the show that's from the doctor's perspective. Like, he's in his sick bay, and in comes Captain Scarlet, like, burned beyond recognition or whatever. Just have vignettes of the poor doctor just doing his normal job, and in comes Scarlet in various just out of control degrees. Maybe even match it up to the end of each episode that we've seen so far and just give his perspective and that of like other random patients in the infirmary. Like, let's say an angel got a concussion or something and she's in the infirmary and here comes Scarlet and she's like, oh my goodness, you deal with this daily? And he's like, yes. Anyway, on to the episode. This was so great from a model perspective. They built that entire rig that kind of functions, and they had the pipes coming in and going down, and like so many moving parts to it. And then that explosion was amazing. They even had the oil coming up and setting itself on fire. The explosion that caused the fire to go out. The amount of detail work that must have gone into this in the behind the scenes is incredibly impressive. And then so tragic about Jason, who clearly was really passionate about his work because he was like, I have every explosive there is. I make my own. Like, this is someone who really loved his job and was creative, professional, had clearly made a niche for himself. Just traveled around helping out with stuff. And then the Mysterons took him out. So dramatically, too. Like, yikes. Getting bulldozed? That was quite the scene. When they just had his body just like... Anyway, Captain Blue and Captain Scarlet were a great team. I'm also adding a slight new thing, which is a code word at the end of videos if you got all the way to the end and watched this review. And I think today we'll make it Ben Sheba, because I think that's appropriate. So if you watched all the way to the end and you want to mention it in your comment, just put Ben Sheba.